jobs number shattered expectations. It showed some economic momentum. In fact, restaurant hospitality hiring back to pre-pandemic levels. That seems to undercut your argument that the economy's broken.
Well, all you have to do is talk to the average American family and ask them how they feel about Bidenomics. The answer is very simple. We've lost over $5,000 of spending power since January of 2021. We should always celebrate the creation of jobs, but we should never forget that we went 52 consecutive paychecks, with a loss of spending power.
And you blame political leadership, not the Federal Reserve?
Well, if you think about the fact that over the last, year and a half, we've seen a 16% inflation since Joe Biden's taken office, which led to 11 consecutive rate increases. That downward pressure on our economy certainly created cracks and fissures throughout the economy. That was caused by Joe Biden's lack of leadership and understanding of how to create jobs in America.
I want to bring up something specific about your economic plan, because the Wall Street Journal editorial board,
Sure.
which is conservative leaning, it did praise many parts of it, but they zeroed in on your promise to offer the child tax credit to pregnant women, criticizing it, saying that is social policy masquerading as economics. Why are they and other Republicans wrong?
Well, here's the question. Do we want to find a way to encourage life in this country? I think the answer is yes. Creating a culture that benefits a single mother like the one that raised me when she gets pregnant, why not extend the child tax credit to when the mother understands that she's pregnant? Let's give her that benefit. Every single thing that we do that encourages family and encourages mothers to continue forward, I think that's a good thing. As a matter of fact, if you look at the tax code of our country, the one thing since the 1930s that we've seen in our tax code is having the tax code create the kind of America that we want. I'll never back down from helping single mothers like the one that raised me, and mothers overall be in a better position to take care of their families. I don't care who disagrees with that.
How confident are you Congress is going to avoid a shutdown next month?
Well, you have until November the 17th to figure that out, Margaret. I will say without any question, the road to socialism runs right through a divided Republican Party. When you have 221 members of the party in the House, you need 218 to choose a speaker. One of the things they should do is go behind closed doors. Let's figure this out in advance.
Do you have a Speaker of the House in mind?
I don't. One of the things I've noticed about those of us outside of the House, the last thing we need are more voices in the House. And you understand this as well as anybody else. There are multiple factions in the House. The last thing we need are more voices on the outside weighing in on the House of Representatives.
So it sounds like you disagree with Donald Trump on his decision to wade into that. You know, one of the sticking points on aid.
I do.
One of the sticking points is aid to Ukraine, which I know you have said is vital to U.S. interests. How do you persuade reluctant Republicans to sign on?
Well, Margaret, one of the things that we saw in the last aid package that was absolutely missing was only $4 billion to finish the construction of the wall, $5 billion to use the available military-grade technology to surveil our border, to stop 70,000 Americans from losing their lives in the next 12 months, because we saw that in the last 12 months. So if you were to be able to, so to speak, walk and chew gum at the same time, if you solved our national security issue on our southern border, in addition to aid to Ukraine, you'd have the kind of package that most Americans, and frankly, most members of both houses, would sign off on.
So this week, the Venezuelan government announced that they have agreed to accept back into their country some of the migrants who crossed unlawfully into the United States. That hadn't been happening for some time. Do you support that Biden administration diplomatic initiative?
Well, there's no doubt when the Biden administration decided to give work permits to those Venezuelans, you would only expect for an acceleration of more Venezuelans coming to our country, frankly, illegally. And so to see the Biden administration find common sense is a good thing. I wish they just would have found it in January of 2021.
Tim Scott, Senator, thank you for your time today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.